Patriots lose again, this time in Germany as they fall 10-6 to the Indianapolis Colts, and the New England Patriots are in play for Drake May and Caleb Williams. That is the only silver lining you can get coming out of this game. Really just an awful performance by the New England Patriots. Indianapolis Colts, a team that's scored 20-plus points each game all season up until today, get held to just 10 points by the Patriots defense, and they still can't win. Late game interception from Mac Jones, probably the worst of his career, and he's had some bad ones. Threw another red zone near interception, and of course was benched for Bailey Zappi on a potential game-winning drive, and we saw how that ended. I believe Zappi thought the defense jumped off sides or something, fake spiked it, threw it into triple, near quadruple coverage to Demario Douglas, and that was the game. Interception. Colts win. Really tough game if you're a Patriots fan. They go into Germany. They seem to have, some Belichick building positive rapport with the media. The team seems to be doing well. Mac Jones laughing at press conferences, a potential team bonding experience, and to only put up 6 points when you had plenty of chances. Ryland missed a field goal at one point, a chip shot. Really just a horrendous performance that is a microcosm of this Patriots season. Let's start here with Mac Jones, and Mac Jones is a completely different quarterback from the guy we saw as a rookie. Go back and watch that very first game he played with the Patriots on the road against Miami Dolphins. Nearly won the game. Mac looked poised. He looked confident. He was a real leader out there. And now you watch him. His body language is just atrocious. He just looks like a deer in the headlights on every play. He has the yips. He just is not the same guy. He's not even the same guy he was week 1 against the Eagles when his footwork looked better. He was moving around the pocket. He was doing this and that. He was evading pressure. He threw, I think the pass was dropped by Juju or someone, but he threw this incredible pass in week 1 against the Eagles where he was getting hit. Threw it 30 yards downfield. And of course the pass was dropped, but it was one of the best throws I've ever seen anyone make. And now he has Mike Gesicki wide open in the back of the end zone. Really just an easy fade throw, and he just underthrows it. Noodle arm falls into the defender's hand, and he was benched. Because what are you going to do at that point? You put in Bailey Zappi. Bailey Zappi doesn't have a strong arm either, but at least he's going to have the confidence to try to make that, 10, 15-yard throw. Very easy pass that any high school quarterback can make. Mac Jones throws it directly to the safety. Really just a broken quarterback. Was under pressure quite a bit, but this Mac Jones that we saw the first few weeks of the season, who was getting rid of the ball quickly despite being under constant pressure, despite not having great weapons out there. At the very least, Mac was getting rid of the football, and you could sit there and say, well, look, he didn't have protection in front of him. He doesn't have a lot of weapons to work with. He's on his 3rd offensive coordinator in 3 years. He's getting rid of the football. He still makes smart decisions. All of that's out the window. He now has 10 interceptions. He's making terrible decisions. He's not throwing the ball confidently. He's not stepping into throws. And we're seeing a QB that's just been through hell for the last 2 years and goes out there and doesn't really have the confidence to perform the way an NFL quarterback really should, or perform the way even rookie Mac Jones did, who made the Pro Bowl. He is a completely different QB, and I don't see him back next year. I'm not sure we'll see him out there. Not that Bailey Zappi's any better, but he's been broken by this system in New England. He's been broken by Belichick. But at a certain point, it's up to Mac to transcend that. And he had better protection in the second half today. He certainly didn't have good protection in the first half. He was holding on to the football. He threw like a weird underhand pitch to Ramondre Stevenson that was nearly intercepted. He should have had a second red zone interception. I think it was the drive before. You saw Robert Kraft's expression when it happened. Head just dropped. Really just, the Dallas game was terrible. The New Orleans game was terrible. And I know Mac didn't have it quite as many turnovers. He had just one interception. But just when you take everything that came before it, when you take all of Mac's assets coming into the league as a good decision maker, an accurate passer, a guy who knew when to get rid of the football quickly, all of that's gone out the window. This was the worst game of his career, and perhaps will cost him his starting job, and he may never start again as an NFL QB. Maybe a career backup, or maybe only starts in the future when somebody goes down. Really sad to see this happen to Mac Jones because, I've been one of his bigger fans. I think he did great under Josh McDaniels. I know there was a lot of hand-holding there, but could not handle the pressure when adversity hit under Matt Patricia and they were not getting the offensive help they needed. And then he had the scheme, he had the coaching with Bill O'Brien coming in, and still, because of the offensive line issues, because of the lack of weapons, when he finally gets to a point where things are starting to click around him, he doesn't have the confidence to make the plays he needs to make. And, he said he wanted to be coached harder. Well, you saw Bill O'Brien chewing him out on the sidelines, a la the Tom Brady days. Mac Jones, taking it the way he should. But clearly, he's seeing ghosts. He's in his head. He's kind of a head case right now. And you have to figure out another solution at that position. Belichick may be gone, but I think it was always iffy that, I thought Belichick would be gone, at least as the GM, but probably as the head coach heading into the offseason. Maybe you stick with Mac Jones, get some more help at the tackle position, bring in a big receiver, do something, and then see what you can do with Mac Jones on the last year of his rookie deal. I don't see that happening anymore after today's performance. So, really, I'm not sure what you do with this Patriots team at this point. The defense struggled in the first half to stop the Colts on third down, as they've done against lots of teams this season. But they played pretty well in the second half. They really contained the run from Jonathan Taylor. He had 69 yards, carried the ball 23 times. Gardner Minshew, who looked really good in the first half, they couldn't get a lot of pressure on him, but the DBs were covering the receivers well. And, they have Downs and Pittman. They have some good players out there, and I think the Patriots DBs did a good job. The only time they were really beat was when Minshew, he only had 4 men rushing at him, and he was able to evade pressure and extend plays. That was the only time the DBs were really beat in the second half. This was a good Colts offense that, like I said at the beginning, scores 20-plus points a game. They did every game this season until today. They had half that. They only had 10 points. So really it was on the Patriots offense to do a better job, and they did not. And it's got to be on Mac Jones because, look, Ramondre Stevenson had 20 carries for 88 yards. I don't have Zeke's stats here, but let's see. The rushing total, 167 yards rushing. So the run blocking is back. It was back today. It hasn't been there all season. It was back today. And yes, I know you don't have Kendrick Bourne out there. I know you're working with Kayshon Boutte, Juju, who's just been a big disappointment. You got your 2 tight ends who are hit or miss. Demario Douglas, of course, had a hell of a game, 84 yards on 6 catches. But you got to be able to work with what you have out there. And Mac Jones had time for the most part, except for in the first half on a few plays. He had time in the second half. Couldn't get rid of the football quickly. He missed a lot of quick slants up the middle on plays to Juju and Douglas potentially. You can't really complain about the defense here. So, look, I don't know what's going to happen this bye week. We got 2 weeks before the Patriots go into New York and face the Giants, a team that probably is worse than New England, at least. Although I'm not picking the Patriots at this point, the way they've been performing. But what do you do? What do you do here? Are you sure Bill Belichick is gone? Because I don't see how you lay the blame on Bill Belichick after this game. The defense holding the Colts to 10 points, great. The offensive scheme really wasn't that bad. The running game, they got that going. They were cost at the quarterback position, and that's not Belichick's fault. And I think he did the right thing, benching Mac Jones on the last drive of the game, because when Mac can't hit a routine fade to Mike Gesicki, it wasn't even a fade. He was just open in the back of the end zone. He had nobody on him. So let's talk about that a little bit. Mac Jones being benched for Bailey Zappi. Is is Zappe the QB to finish the season? Or do you bring up Malik Cunningham and see if you can try to do something unique with him with a mobile quarterback out there? Or do you drag Mac back out there week 12 against the New York Giants? I mean, these are a lot of decisions the Patriots are going to have to make. And I'm really not sure what you do because Zappe is not better than Mac Jones. I know there's a lot of Zappe mania that still kind of exists, but he's not. He has a weaker arm, if that's possible. He probably has more confidence because he hasn't had the crap kicked out of him every game all season. He's been on the bench. But you're not improving at quarterback by putting Bailey Zappe out there. We saw what ended up happening. He thought the defense jumped off sides, I believe, or something happened. Flag wasn't thrown. He should have seen that and then threw it into triple coverage to Demario Douglas, which was intercepted, and the Colts won the game. I think you got to keep Mac out there. What are the other options? You go with Zappe, and maybe he's the guy of the future if you draft another QB, and then you're just officially giving up on Mac Jones? I don't know. But there's nobody that's coming to save the quarterback position, at least for the rest of this season. So I guess you ride it out with Mac and see maybe he gets his confidence back. Maybe he can turn it around. Maybe he can go a few games without throwing a dumb pick. And then maybe you go into the offseason going, well, maybe we'll get a quarterback in the second to third round. We'll attack the tackle and receiver position in the early rounds. And then we'll have Mac compete for his job with somebody else. Maybe Bo Nix falls to the second round or somebody like that you can bring in that would compete with Mac. But I'm sorry, Bailey Zappe's not the answer, guys. He's just not. And I know a lot of people were really excited about Zappe when he filled in for Mac. He beat the Lions, which did not have a good defense. He beat the Cleveland Browns, another bad team last year. You saw him in the preseason. He regressed. He regressed quite a bit. And that throwing into triple coverage, look, Mac Jones has made some dumb mistakes. That interception at the end was the worst of his career, perhaps. He wouldn't have made that throw. Okay? You're not getting any better with Zappe out there. So look, I say you either try some experimenting with Malik Cunningham, bring him up, see if you can build an offense that you can bring in a mobile quarterback with, like a Caleb Williams potentially, and then just kind of ride out the season understanding that Malik Cunningham's going to have a steep learning curve and you're probably not going to win any more games. Maybe that's the best solution. Or you see if you got anything to salvage with Mac Jones. But it's hard to feel confident about anything like that happening with Mac after today's game. So more coverage this week, patscast.com, or follow me on YouTube, patscast, and we'll break it down a little bit more. What could be an eventful bye week. I don't see Bill Belichick losing his job, but that could change. That could change literally tomorrow, so we'll see. But Patriots lose 10-6 to the Indianapolis Colts over in Frankfurt, Germany. Plenty of chances to win the game. Defense did their job. Really, it was the quarterback position. Mac Jones, terrible late game red zone interception, and then bad decision by Bailey Zappe on a potential game-winning drive in the final seconds. So Patriots dropped to 2-8. In the talk to get Caleb Williams or Drake May or Marvin Harrison Jr., we'll see. Maybe you want to tank the rest of the way, but this has been a rough year, but interesting storyline, so we'll see how it plays out in the coming days.